Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I'm your host Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 2, and yet again, another kind of callback to Chainsaw Man with the opening of this one, Joe. Gojo making his little tea, taking his time with everything, reminded me so much of the Chainsaw Man episode where, oh my god, I'm gonna forget the guy's name.
Oh, Aki, going through his morning routine.
Yeah, when Aki makes coffee in the morning, the little routine. I don't know why, but it reminded me so much of that, like stylistically. I was like, damn, Mappa, doing it twice and it still looks great.
Yeah. Episode 26, Season 2, couple things I do want to mention before we jump into all the meat of this episode. I just rewatched 0 and 1, or Season 1, over the last week. And so, remember how we were talking about last episode, who the fuck is this Tengen guy, and was he ever talked about beforehand? Turns out, Gojo talks about him in episode 21, when he's talking to all of his cursed friendos on the beach. He's just like, yeah, Tengen, he's in the basement at Jujutsu High in Tokyo, so we gotta worry about him, because he's like a big barrier problem that we gotta deal with. On to the actual episode, though. We meet up with Gojo. I don't even want to say interrogating, because he's not. He's just kind of having fun torturing one of the Q club guys. I find it very funny that they're like Squad Q or whatever the hell their name is, because they are like they look exactly like the Quincy's, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit, and they also remind me of Red Ribbon Army from like Dragon Ball. I don't know why I thought about that, but a little bit like the Quincy's too.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely just as incompetent as the Red Ribbon Army, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So they're dispatched pretty early on, and then it's just Gojo, Gojo, and a new character who we talked about in the last one very briefly, the Star Vessel person. Her name is Riko. And no, I'm not talking about Penguins of Madagascar here. Oh, I just realized something, Joe. Also, Rika is the cursed spirit in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Jesus Christ. Dude, this
I thought that's where you were going with this.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Why is there always so similar?
I know. The names, I feel like that this is probably the hardest show with names.
Yeah, god damn it, so agitating. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Riko here? Not the penguin, the schoolgirl.
Fan of the penguin. Gonna get that out of the way. Schoolgirl. I think she's kind of cool. I kind of like how she's not. I was kind of thinking about it, I'm like, wouldn't this person not want to be like absorbed by Tengen-sama? Like they kind of want to live their life. She's like fine with it, and she has this like philosophy, like trying to almost like talking down to Gojo and Gojo, like, you guys don't understand. Like, I am Tengen-sama and Tengen-sama is me. Like, she's going on some like Holy Trinity shit. Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But she's cool. I like her. I'm interested to see kind of how she gets, I feel like not even a romantic relationship, but like a friendship is bonding between her and Gojo and Gojo. So I'm interested to see what happens with that.
It's probably not gonna go well, because she is not around in the future. I mean, I guess she'd be Tengen at that point, but I don't know. I feel like she is like the catalyst for the big problem that's gonna like split Gojo and Gojo. Like I don't know that for certain, but it seems like that's what she is.
Yeah, she kind of seems like the breaking point. And I don't really know. Everybody talks about that, like the big reason that like Gojo and Gojo split up. That like we don't know what it is. So I'm assuming we're gonna get there in this season.
A little bit later on the episode, Riko, she's just like, hey, I want to go to school. I gotta do my own thing because I only have a couple days left to be on my own before I'm absorbed into Tengen-sama, and then he is me and I'm in him, and blah, 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 blah. Gojo and Gojo are not on board with this whatsoever, which you were just attacked by people. So it kind of makes sense to me where you'd be like, we should probably keep you in a safer location. But she smacks Gojo, which again, I don't know how she does. I thought his infinite whatever bullshit would keep him from whatever, doesn't matter. She's like, I gotta go to school. And they're like, okay, I guess we can allow that for a little bit. Immediately shit starts going wrong. And they're like, okay, now we have to go get her from the school. There's some other stuff happening on with Toji as well. He's doing like horse betting. And we find out this is Megumi's father. This is Arfu Shiguro. This is his papa. Or at least that's what we assume, because one of the guys that he's working with asks him, he's like, hey, how's Megumi? And then he just looks at the guy and he's like, I don't even know who that is. And I'm like, oh, so he's that kind of a dad. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the vibe they're going for him. I kind of like it. I like how whenever he's on screen, I get very like uncomfortable, especially how he talks, how calm and collected he is, like how he has it all planned out where he's setting up that instead of him just rushing in to fight them, he's letting other people do the work for him. All the scenes with him at like the horse betting and like the speedboat racing place, I loved. I think it's very cool, and I think he's very intimidating, and I can't wait to see him in action.
Yeah, they are definitely setting up to be someone not only powerful but smart as well.
We also learn like the terms of what kind of Gojo his abilities are, like just kind of in passing. I forget the specific wording, but it's like the six eyes or whatever, and then his other ability.
Right, yeah. So it's like the Gojo clan is their own family, kind of like the Fushiguros and the Zenin clan and stuff like that. I just rewatched the movie in the first season, and I don't remember this ever being mentioned. So this is the first time I think that we're learning that Gojo comes from a powerful family, and he has his own special lineage of like special abilities, kind of like how Fushiguro is getting set up to have some sort of special ability because he's a descendant of both the Zenin clan and the Fushiguro clan, and so now Gojo is revealed to be his own special thing from his own special family. So it's just like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. This show is not at all interested in making characters that are just like everyday people going through like extraordinary events. It's like, no, no, no. Every character that we have here that we've set up and that we're following, they're all special in their own way. It's almost meta in a sense, because Gojo also mentions this. He says each generation of like Jujutsu sorcerer gets more and more powerful. This is the part where everything is kind of like coming to a T, or like whatever interesting is about to happen is happening because you have all these like powerful characters around. I don't know. It's just something interesting that I kind of find with it. It doesn't make it like good or bad. It's just a way that they're telling the story, and I just found it kind of funny.
I like the style of this, and I like where we're going. Again, the first 3 episodes, I think, all have like the same name and just part like 1, 2, or 3. I'm feeling like this might be just like a mini arc or something we're getting. I don't really know where this show is going, which is kind of great.
There's been some internet stuff that I like looked at, and I was like, oh, okay. So like I kind of get the gist of what's going on here. So like season 2, so I think it's like a 24, 26 episode somewhere in there sort of a thing. It's going to be like split core again, so you're going to get 12 and then 12. We're in the hidden inventory arc right now, which is the Gojo's past arc. It's not that long. It's only a few chapters in the, in the manga stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we breeze through this before the first 12 episodes are even over, because then it's going to curtail into the Shibuya incident arc, which is the thing that all the manga readers won't shut the fuck up about, saying that it's like the best shonen thing of all time, which I'll believe it when I see it, but also that kind of gets me a little bit hyped for when it actually does appear. Anyway, so that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to get like, I think most of this core, so most of these 12 or 13 episodes that we're going to get is going to be set up for like the Gojo's past sort of a thing, and we see like how the characters get to where they're at, and that's probably going to inform very heavily what certain characters, probably Gojo, are going to be doing in the Shibuya incident arc. At least that's what I would anticipate. I don't actually know what happens in this or the Shibuya incident arc. I just kind of know how long approximately they are, so I'm like, okay, this makes sense in my head, but yeah, other than that, I have no idea. But this is definitely, like, if I were making this show, that's what I would do. Like, why do you start with a flashback arc? It's like, oh, because the information in here is going to be very important for context for stuff that's about to come after it. Like, I don't know why else you would do it that way.
Yeah, the structure makes a lot more sense now. I will say, Joe, my favorite part of this whole episode is just seeing Gojo use his abilities and just fucking stunt on these motherfuckers. It was so cool. I love his design and how his power works. He's so OP in the best way possible.
Dude, he's so OP on both the streets and in the sheets. It should be illegal.
Oh, dude, damn right,
It should be
bro.
illegal.
Oh my god, the phone number scene had me dying.
Oh my god, when they have to go to Riko's school, again, not the penguin, to make sure that she's safe, Gojo finds her in the chapel because they're all doing their singing or whatever, and every girl immediately is just like, I want you right now. the teacher is like, everyone settle the fuck down. Dude, what the fuck are you doing here? You can't be here. You should have like a note or something. And he's like, sorry, it's a family emergency, sort of thing. And she just like looks at him for 1 second and immediately writes down phone number and is like, also, here's my phone number. And every girl is just like, hey, you're doing it too. And she's like, it's hard for a teacher to find a guy in this current work climate. And I'm just like, man, I feel for you hard. But also, Gojo is a second year at Jujutsu High. So how old is he? What is he, like 16, 17? How old are you? Are we Garden of Wording this thing?
They even say, like, you're going after a younger
They
man.
do! Gojo might be one of my favorite character designs of all fucking time. It's so simple.
It's simple, but he's so cool.
He's so cool and so hot at the same time. He is quite literally Katy Perry-ing it right now. Illegal. It should be fucking illegal, Joe. He yoinks Rico right out of there. Everyone is fussing over him. And then we get to see him fight Bagman. That's what I'm calling the guy. He's just got a bag on his head. Doesn't matter. He can make clones of himself. Cool. I don't really give a shit about him. It's just to show how badass Gojo is. And you just see him explaining his ability to Bagman. And Bagman's just like, oh shit. I fucked up trying to attack you, dude. And also, I love the detail because he uses his infinity and all that stuff. So like people can't like hit him or whatever. But also, he's not physically grabbing like the clothing of Rico. He's like holding her with his infinity sword, so she's like levitating in his hand. I'm like, what? Again, going back to the detail in the last episode where when he crushed the can, he just moved his hand back and the can just crushed in his palm because of his energy or ability or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm like, that's so cool. And then it's instant like transmission where he flies into the side of the building and the glass all shatters everywhere, which then leads into another funny bit where he uses what we've already seen, his like reverse curse technique, Red, and it's like a horrifying ability. It releases so much energy. And in this, he hasn't quite mastered how to use it yet. So it just doesn't work. And he just punches Bagman in the face. He's like, it failed! And Rico's just like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I thought I could get it that time, but I couldn't. And she's like, what? This guy is fucking crazy. And you're like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, that whole scene was great. Even the fight with Ghetto, I really liked against the old man. The little flashback scene with the dog literally had me like tearing up because I'm fucking emotional.
The dog.
Joe probably knew that too.
Yeah.
It was great. Another great episode. I really want us to get into some more action. I know it's kind of been really dialogue heavy because they are covering a lot of ground, but that's the only thing I kind of want to see is I know we got a little bit of like small fights here, but I would love Fushiguro coming in and at least starting that fight, which I'm assuming is going to happen sometime soon.
Yeah, I think they're coming into that pretty soon because they're very clearly setting up. He's trying to wear down Gojo right now because he's like, you don't just rush in and try and attack him. Like, no. Gonna wear him down first, then I come in, deliver the finishing blow, and that way we can all get what we want. You get the Star Vessel girl,
Yeah.
I get to beat the shit out of Gojo for whatever reason that I want to do that.
Oh, we learn Megami's dad has a nickname. They called him the Sorcerer Killer.
Oh, so
Interesting. Overall, very good episode. Excited. I love watching Jujutsu Kaisen. It's so fun.
Yeah, I will say that watching Jujutsu Kaisen is fun. There's some cool stuff in here. There is. It's just probably when it's in its completed like package sort of a thing, it'll probably be a much more fun experience to go through it all and actually have the context for everything. But as it's all unfolding, still pretty fun.
Yep, man. Definitely enjoying watching this week to week.
Yeah. So, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Hidden Inventory Arc, baby. Hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. And with that being said, always remember, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.